Hello and welcome to another JNMG video. I'm your host JonNario, and today is going to be all about my builds, so my gems and gear. Last time I covered Uber 10. This time I'm going to cover speedruns and Shadow Tower, so mainly going to be speedruns, which is going to be my speedrun type character, aka my Gunslinger. I did use Revenant once, and I did do a speedrun on my Revenant, and I did get purple name on Revenant once. So I'm just going to mainly use Gunslinger because Gunslinger is the one that I'm most familiar with. So yes, we'll be talking about Gunslinger mainly, and note, everything right here is going to apply pretty much the same on Revenant and Ice Age because all three characters pretty much uses the same build. The only exception on speedruns is going to be Draco, but I'm not going to cover Draco because first of all, I'm not very familiar with Draco. Secondly, it's not that a thing that you will see commonly. Draco is not going to be a common character for speedrun. Obviously, you see teams using Draco, but for the most part on Xbox specifically, you don't see any Dracos. And yeah, for the most part, you're going to see mostly Gunslinger, Ice Age, or Revenant. So yes, you're seeing right now my stats because I just wanted to showcase my stats and the character that I'll be covering in today's video. These are my stats that you're seeing right now on screen. And yeah, on the last video I did showcase my stats, so if you didn't watch it, I actually put a timer in the comments below, so you can click it and you can just check my stats. Simple as that. And yeah, again, link in the description to the last video, and also link in the description to the speedrun requirements, because I did a speedrun video which are going to be the stats requirement for this, to enter speedruns. So I actually just I'll post a link in the description below on the other video. So if you want to check it out, you can go ahead and check it out and see what are the stats that you need in order to achieve, in order to start doing speedruns for yourself. So anyways, before I also start this video, I will showcase one thing. So you're seeing right now on screen, I actually did several recordings on this particular video, but I wasn't satisfied on any of them. But today I'm just like, whatever, I'm just going to do it, no matter if it is going to be a really long video or a really short video, because I actually just deleted one extra before actually doing this video. And so I actually had 3 recordings on the speedrun and Shadow Tower build, and also I had 2 on the Leviathans, which I'll do another one. So yeah, I actually do multiple recordings of them. So yeah, that's why I just sometimes I'm like, I want to do multiple recordings, similar to what I do on the Endgame series. I do multiple recordings on that one, and yeah, that's one of the reasons why it takes me so long to actually post the video. On top of the multiple recording and the editing, yeah, that's why it takes a while. But anyways, enough about that. Let's start talking about the build. Let's start off with the empowered gems, then lesser gems, then cosmic gems, yada yada yada. Same reason as the last video, the empowered gem abilities. And again, I will mention this one more time. This build can apply on any character. The only exception might be Draco on empowered gem abilities. Regarding everything else in terms of stats will apply to any character that you want to use for Shadow Tower. Right now I am dealing 1.284 million damage with my Gunslinger. I'm almost 750 total mastery, so 1.284 million damage, that's quite a lot of damage. I was dealing 1.282 mil damage before the update came out from the Into the Deep update. So yeah, this build actually will dish out quite a bit of damage, so if you want to copy it yourself, you're feel free to do so. So let's start out talking about empowered gem abilities. Empowered gem abilities are going to be exactly the same as the Uber 10 build. So it's going to be 2 empowered gem abilities with 2 damage, 1 critical damage. So in this occasion I have 2 magic damage roll, 1 critical damage roll, and the other one 2 critical damage, 1 magic. So perfectly divided half and half across my fire, water, and air empowered gems. So it's the same as my Uber 10 build. However, the other thing that I had is my other gems, my lesser gems. Back then, before the Crystal Combat update, I don't know if I was still in the most optimal damage, but I know for a fact that, by the way, pardon this glitch right here, I have food on me, so the food glitch is a thing, it's so annoying. One thing that you are going to see is that I have more magic damage roll than critical damage roll on my fire, water, and air, but I did fix that on my cosmic gems, so right now I have a perfectly divided half and half across all of my lesser gems. That includes my cosmic gems, so I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, my 2 lesser water gems are actually 2 magic damage roll, 1 critical damage roll. I don't know if this is the most optimal build right now, probably it isn't, but it's still like the difference between having a perfectly divided half and half and more damage than critical damage is very minute, it's very minimal, that you're barely going to notice any difference. So Don't worry if you have more damage than critical damage or more critical damage than magic damage or whatever. The difference is going to be, there's going to be difference, but not a whole lot, so don't worry about it. But yeah, I have 2 magic damage roll, 1 critical damage roll on my lesser water gems on both of them. And the rest of my air and fire lesser gems are going to be perfectly divided half and half. So this one is going to be 2 magic, 1 critical damage, and the other one 2 critical damage, 1 magic. You're also seeing right here that I do have maximum health. The reason I do have maximum health is that Gunslinger gains a plus 15% critical hit by default, just in the Gunslinger. That's pretty insane, and also it gains critical hit on level up. So yeah, that's pretty nice. So that's why I have maximum health right over here. I don't have critical hit on weapon and range, and I'm still achieving 100%. And also I'm not fully 100% augmented on my critical hit. So yeah, Gunslinger is very flexible with critical hit and builds. And yeah, that's why I have maximum health roll right over here. And my other gems are going to be the same. My fire gems are going to be 2 critical damage, 1 magic damage, 2 magic, 1 critical damage. Perfectly divided half and half. And again, like I mentioned, you're going to see that my lesser water gems are going to be both 2 magic damage roll, 1 critical damage roll. So 2 magic damage roll, 1 critical damage roll. And what I did is that I did the same thing with my cosmic gem, but with 2 critical damage roll. So I have both of my lesser cosmic gem are 2 critical damage roll, 1 magic damage roll. So you're going to see, oh, that's my power gem. So you're going to see 2 critical damage, 1 magic damage roll. So that's nice. So right now I have perfectly divided half and half. You're seeing the rolls right now on screen, but not really. I actually need to tell you my empower gem, which is going to be a 2 magic, 1 critical damage roll. Oh my god, this food glitch is so annoying. So you're seeing right now 2 magic damage roll, 1 critical damage roll. My empower gem, so I have more magic damage roll. I have actually 3 empower gems with 2 magic damage roll, 1 critical damage roll. So one thing to keep in note is that the Uber 10 build is all about light. The speedrun build is all about getting the most stat possible, the highest coefficient that you can. So no light rolls and no critical hit rolls on any of your gems. So yeah, that's pretty much the speedrun build that you will be rocking. So you're seeing right now, actually you're right now seeing the rolls on screen across my fire, water, air, cosmic, and total. So yeah, so that is going to be all my rolls across all of my gems. And yeah, now let's start talking about the Empower Gem abilities. The Empower Gem abilities, you're going to see that I have Berserk Battler, Class Gem, Spirit Surge, and Stinging Curse. The one that I'll recommend is obviously Class Gem. Every single character benefits from Class Gem. The only exception might be Revenant, because you're not using Pull Word Bash on Revenant. You're only using Basic, so on Revenant it might be the only exception, but every other character that is good for speedrun, Class Gem, please get it. Berserk Battler is going to be beneficial to all attack speed based character, the only exception obviously being Draco. But Berserk Battler has 2 stages. I'm going to explain how Berserk Battler works. Berserk Battler has 2 stages, Frenzy, Berserk stage. You're seeing right now on screen, Frenzy and Berserk stage. Each and every single one will increase attack speed and light. Frenzy will increase a small amount, and Berserk stage is going to greatly increase attack speed and light. So I will not be covering light in this video. I will be covering more attack speed. Light is going to be saved up for the Leviathan build, because this is important on Leviathan but not on Shadow Towers, because Shadow Tower you're not dealing more damage with light, but attack speed is going to be very important. So Frenzy state attack speed will be a plus 15. So plus 15 attack speed if you go into Frenzy state. How do you get into Frenzy state? Hit an enemy once. That's it. All you need to do is hit an enemy once and you will go into Frenzy state. It's so easy. Let me just go ahead and just showcase right over here. I have almost 2,000 pins. That's kind of crazy. But if you hit an enemy once, you're going to see that you have those little video effects on you. That is Frenzy state. That will increase your attack speed by plus 15. However, if you hit an enemy 11 times within 3 seconds, you are going to glow. That little glow, and that's not going to be a really good option. Let me just go into a darker place so you can see. So you're going to see Frenzy state, and you're going to see that glow. That glow that you saw for a little bit, that is Berserk state. So Berserk state is going to increase your attack speed by up to 40. So it's going to be an extra 25 from Frenzy state. So Frenzy State is going to be plus 15. Berserk State is going to be an extra 25 on top of the 15, which is plus 40. So plus 40 attack speed, which is just incredible. So plus 40 attack speed from going into Berserk State. So in order to go into Berserk State, you have to hit an enemy 11 times within 3 seconds. Yeah, so 11 times within 3 seconds, you will go into Berserk State for the remaining of the 3 seconds. So if, for example, if it took you 2 seconds to actually go into Berserk State will last for 1 second. If it took you 1 second to actually get into Berserk State, which is easy on something like Gunslinger Ultimate Ability, you will have 2 seconds of Berserk State unless you hit an enemy 11 more times, which you will maintain Berserk State. Again, on Gunslinger, it is so easy to actually maintain that, since you're roughly hitting 15 to 17 times a second if you're max attack speed. And if you're not max attack speed, you're still hitting over 11 times a second, which is still pretty nice. Anywho, so that's the reason Berserk Battler is going to be really good, because obviously you have the Lunacy buff, which actually just increases your attack speed by 100, and this will give you an extra 40. Lunacy, however, lasts for 6 seconds. And the thing is, the Lunacy only lasts for 6 seconds, and Speedrun is around, 7 to 9 seconds on average. So yeah, it's going to be the remaining of the 3 seconds or 2 or 3 seconds that you're doing the speedrun. You're actually getting the benefit from Berserk Battler, so it's going to help out in DPS after Lunacy buff runs out. So Berserk Battler is going to be a really good option for the attack speed based character. On Draco, I don't know, I don't main Draco, I don't know the Draco tactics, so I'm going to assume Empyrean Vanquisher, Empyrean Barrier, Flower Power, any of those 3 are going to be really good, but I'm going to assume Empyrean Vanquisher is going to be the better option just for survivability, so you don't die immediately. So yeah, that's going to be the Empower Gem ability, the most important for every single character out there. Some people use Stinging Curse, myself included. It is going to be that it does damage over time. That's the reason I use Stinging Curse. It does damage over time, and damage over time is going to be really good because speedrun is all about milliseconds, so you want to dish out as much damage as possible. So yes, that's the reason I use Stinging Curse. Spirit Surge, I use Spirit Surge because whatever, this was the best Empower Gem ability that I could get way back, and yeah, so that's why I just stuck with it. But you can use whichever ability that you want. Some people just use Stun Burst, anything really, like anything of the Stun Burst, Mire Mojo, whatever. Just because, especially on Revenant and Draco, they attack from really close range and they just keep getting hit. So this type of ability will actually just do extra amounts of damage. Also, some people just use Paradise, so that whenever they're doing the ally swapping tactic, they just throw the bomb to the pins and they just activate Paradise, so they can do extra amounts of damage. Yada yada yada. As far as the power gem ability, you can use whichever you want. And yeah, those are the kinds of builds that those are the gems that I normally rock. On Gunslinger, all you need is Clash and Berserk Battler. The other 2 are up to you. I just use Stinging Curse and something extra. So it is up to you, whichever you want. So let's move on into gear. So gear, as a Gunslinger, you will want to use attack speed, critical damage, all pieces of gear. Revenant and Ice Age are also a type of character that uses attack speed, so attack speed, critical damage, all pieces of gear. Draco, you don't need anything, you can use Energy Regen on staff, and critical damage on all pieces of gear, and just go with it. So yeah, so just use critical damage, attack speed, all pieces of gear if you're using a character that uses attack speed. And yeah, so as far as the other important thing is going to be critical hit on weapon if you don't have 100%. And magic damage or physical damage on face, so you can dish out more damage, so you can have more damage. So that's pretty much the only 2 important things. The other one, you can use whichever you want. You can use Magifying or you can use maximum health. And Ring, again, you can use whichever you want, whichever needs you the most. If you want to reach 100%, you can use it right here on Ring. Or if you want to just have Energy Regen, like I have right here, you can just have Energy Regen. But I use only Energy Regen just to clear out dungeons or arenas and the Shadow Tower, so that's why I have it. But for speedrun, you don't need it. For the most part, you're just standing still using basic and that's it. So yeah, next up is going to be the ally. Ally, you use the Primordial Water Dragon Pop or Fire Dragon Pop. The reason being is that this allies right over here will be doing extra amounts of damage. The other ally that actually just fits this, this niche are going to be the Starlight Dragon Link and the Golden Horde Dragon Link, which both of them do exactly the same as the Primordial Fire and Water Dragon Pop. So you use whichever you want out of those 4 little allies right over there, because Speedruns is all about 10 seconds or less, so Gunslingers are going to, you know, only use one ultimate ability, so you don't need Chronomatic Emblem and Chronomatic Cubesly. I forgot to mention the Chronomatic Emblem. I will mention Chronomatic Emblem in a little bit, but you don't need Chrono Emblem or Chrono Cubesly, so you need to be using something like this, which does extra amounts of damage and grants you the most damage possible. We just use this one just because whatever it does extra stats, which is 8% incoming damage, which is pretty useless on ranged characters, but on Revenant it's going to be pretty nice, which will actually just help out a little bit in not taking that much damage, but it's still whatever. On Revenant you don't die anyways. But yeah, that's the reason why we use this one, because you're seeing right over here, damaging enemy has a chance to blast them with fire. The fire, I believe, is based on your physical damage, so magic damage characters are not going to benefit a whole lot, but still it's going to be extra damage. And like I mentioned with the Stinging Curse, extra damage means you can kill Daughter of the Moon faster, and speedrun is all about milliseconds. Yada yada yada, you know all that drill. Now let's move on into food. You want to be using a damage food, obviously, because again, the most damage possible. So you want to use this one, which will actually just increase your damage by 250 raw. So that's going to be pretty nice. That's going to be an extra, let's say, 600-700 extra magic damage or physical damage, depending on the character that you're using. If you're my type of master, if you're in the over 600 master, you're still going to get like, I believe it is like I believe it is like 600 or something like that in terms of extra damage, and that's not counting the extra damage that you are getting from Shadow Towers. So yeah, that's pretty much the reasoning why you should use something like the Cube Ash or the Unicorn Shard. Food, the emblems and flasks are going to be this one. You no longer use the Chaos Vial Chronomatic Emblem tactic anymore, because again, speedruns is all about 10 seconds or less. So Gunslinger's ultimate ability will last for 10 seconds, and since the Gunslinger is mainly the character that you want to be using for the most part, obviously Ice Age is the other exception, but Ice Age ultimate ability only lasts for 5 seconds, so it's whatever. So instead of using something that actually makes you have more ultimate ability, you want to be using something that does more damage. In this occasion, you want to be using Evil Eye and Violent Minion Multiplication. Obviously Arcane and Martial Emblem is going to be a no-brainer. Extra damage, like, come on, like what the hell. But yeah, Violent Minion Multiplication and Evil Eye Emblem. The reason you want to use Evil Eye Emblem and Violent Minion Multiplication is because the Evil Eye Emblem, well, let's start talking about Violent Minion Multiplication. The effect, what it does is double the effects of any equipped emblems that summons combat minions. Combat minions are going to be Evil Eye Emblem, the Mastery Ally, that I don't remember which are all the allies, which are going to be, for the most part, are going to be Beamer, Evil Eye, and there's a certain emblems that actually just counts as combat minions but for the most part, these are the two most important. This is going to be for physical damage character, this is going to be for magic based character. So for magic based character, you want to use Evil Eye. For physical based character, you want to use Beamer. So what it does is, if you use a flask, you will spawn 2 of the Evil Eye emblems just because of Violent Minion Multiplication. Each and every single Evil Eye will deal 6 times damage. 6 times damage multiplier is not bad. And I believe they attack every single second, if I recall. So attacking every single second is going to be not half bad. I think it's every second or every 2 seconds. I don't remember how much it is. But they do attack pretty often. Let me see. Every 2 seconds. Oh yeah. So they attack every 2 seconds or so. And you can just summon them. Once they attack twice, you can just summon again, because that's pretty much your cue to actually just use another flash, so you can regain the arcane timer and just go ham. So yeah, for the most part, you want to be using Evil Eye, Violent Minion Multiplication, so you can spawn 2 of them, so they can dish out 6 times damage each, and since they scale off your magic damage, they will do increased damage just because of arcane. So yeah, it's going to be pretty nice. That's the reason why everyone should use those 2 emblem combination. That's why everyone just uses it. And yeah, that's pretty much everything regarding the emblems and flask. You want to use this 2, you want to use arcane, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. And just use flask every 2.5 seconds or so you can regain the timer on arcane, and at the same time do the most amount of DPS with Evil Eye. I don't use banners because they actually just grant more video effects, and on Xbox, video effects just equals more lag for some reason. But yeah, that's why I don't use banners, and I don't recommend you using banners or auras if you're playing on Xbox mainly. But if you're playing on PC, that shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, moving on into the subclass. The subclass, you're going to use either the Lunar Lancer or Ice Age subclass. The Ice Age subclass is going to be tied only to the Draco, and the Lunar Lancer subclass is going to be for everything else, for Ice Age, Revenant, and Gunslingers. The reason being is what it does is, when you hit an enemy, you will have a chance of going into Lunacy mode. Going into Lunacy mode will increase your attack speed by plus 100. It's going to be extremely beneficial on something, especially on like Gunslingers, because Gunslinger's ultimate ability, if you didn't know, the ultimate ability on Clashing actually reduces your attack speed by 25%. So you're seeing right over here, even with the Lunacy buff, I'm still at 298. I'm still missing 2% of attack speed. So my normal attack speed is 265, and if you remove 25%, so if you multiply it by 0.75, you will get 198. I believe it is 198. So yeah, that's the reasoning why you should use the Lunacy on, especially on Gunslingers, which is going to be extremely beneficial on ultimate abilities. And yeah, that's pretty much the reasoning why every single attack speed character uses Lunacy mode instead of just using something else, because the Lunar Lancer plus 100 attack speed is just way too good. And the other one is going to be Draco. The Draco uses the Ice Age subclass because it increases your magic damage by plus 20%. And that's total magic damage, that's not your raw, that's your bonus damage, that's total damage. So just take your actual magic damage that you see on the stat, multiplied by 1.2. That's going to be your new magic damage from the Ice Age subclass. And again, Shadow Tower, you gain more magic damage, so you're going to get even more benefits. And since Draco doesn't need attack speed, Ice Age is going to be way more beneficial. Ice Age subclass for Draco, Lunar Lancer for everyone else. And yeah, that's pretty much every single thing regarding my builds. My Shadow Tower, my speedrun build, and yeah, if you want to copy it yourself, you feel free to do so. Thank you for watching, thank you for sticking around as always. Leave a like if you want to help the channel grow. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And that is all for today. Once again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Take care and keep on hunting. And again, I will not be covering all of the tactics from speedrun because I will be here for like forever. And I don't want that. Alright? See ya.